no one is happy in this show, in this treatment. You've continued to antagonize fans, so they're not going to stick with you. And you haven't even provided a halfway competent show. If you can't even see the glaring issue of a Rondir, just basic continuity and just providing something entertaining, and even when you have like battle scenes, you still can't even do that right. Even Star Wars fans that have problems with Disney Star Wars still can find some enjoyment in the lightsaber battles, but you can't even say that, because the way they did the Siege of Eregion, it was so nonsensical. I was watching Helm's Deep. I was watching like the films after this. I think Critical Drinker actually did a great video breaking down why Helm's Deep is such a fantastic battle, why it is one of the best battle scenes put to cinema. And he breaks it down and then compares that to the Siege of Eregion, and it is night and day, the difference in quality and care. Helm's Deep still holds up so well. It's perfect. From a lore perspective, yeah, you can have the issues with the elves, and I get that. But just purely from an entertainment standpoint, it is so good. And there are reasons why. Everyone understands the stakes. You build up the tension. You have your antagonist, you have your protagonist, you establish the location, the locale, its strengths, its weaknesses. You establish the orcs, the Uruk-hai, and their strengths and how they're able to go up against each other. And it is so interesting, the different stages of the battle taking place. It is very compelling and entertaining at every turn of this entire battle sequence. When it comes to Siege of Eregion, nothing makes sense. From the very beginning, from the cavalry charge, and everyone just stopping because they suddenly see Galadriel. It makes no sense. Every decision is so nonsensical from a battle standpoint, and you can tell that no one gave a damn to make it make sense, to make it even entertaining. Because I can't help but think, why would they stop the cavalry charge, like what looks like to be thousands of horses? You could have had such a significant advantage by continuing to plow through the orcs. You could have stopped the Siege of Eregion right there. It made no sense. Eregion's been under siege for weeks. You could have ended it right there. But evil was allowed to endure because Galadriel, I guess. The Ravager thing is so stupid as well. Hammering nails into a wall with no anchor or hooks in the nail before pulling the nails out will only achieve one thing. The nails will be pulled out only. Everything that happened throughout the entire battle made no sense. So first of all, we're going to stop the cavalry charge. We're going to stop our significant advantage on horseback and being able to plow through the enemy that's been attacking the city for weeks. We're going to kill that advantage so we can have a parlay, an unsuccessful parlay, in which we have to see Elrond kiss his future mother-in-law, and nothing gets resolved. So, okay, we're going to battle again come morning time. All right. But even before then was when the trebuchets, did they already bring down the mountainside? A good battle scene has to read clearly. You need to have a specific sense of space and time and awareness of the characters and what they are doing at all times. I'm sorry, you need nerds, you need people who know what they're doing, from medieval warfare, from costuming, everything. And how the battle takes place, none of it makes sense. And they just have to throw in that sympathetic orc in there to just derail the whole thing. None of it makes sense, too, why Sauron even needed the orcs to be there to begin with. There's suspension of disbelief, and then there's suspension of common sense and reality, which is what is needed to accept Rings of Power as legit. But you have to turn your brain off. And I hate that. You shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to expect the viewer to do this. This isn't a Michael Bay movie. For certain things, fine. Okay, but from one of the most beloved, dense mythologies in existence, no, that doesn't work for this. You have to try. You have to care. You have to be knowledgeable about your field, and you have to be passionate and knowledgeable about the mythology. Everyone involved has to know that, and everyone involved should know how to do the basic level of filmmaking techniques. Don't turn your brain off. Turn this garbage show off. That's the solution, and people are. The recent viewing numbers, you can't spin it in any other way is just an abject failure. It's a tragedy, honestly. Fans can condone to a degree like certain creative changes for the sake of adaptation to a certain visual medium. We get that, but this isn't an adaptation. It's not making any effort at all to faithfully and sincerely bring Tolkien's Middle-earth to life. It is actively bastardizing it at every turn, making up opportunities to do so, antagonizing the fans while they do it. They're proud of it. Again, like the Lord of the Rings Prime Twitter accounts, they're all like laughing at everyone, promoting how silly Sauron is, how much of a girl boss he is, the hots that Sauron and Galadriel have for each other. They know this is a joke. And they know that the fan base doesn't like it, and they continue to do it. I don't understand. Like, you think you'd want to be a success. You think Jeff Bezos would have wanted this to be a success? But from what's happened, I don't get that. Streaming originals television, September 27th through October 3rd. Estimated minutes watched, 358.5 million. Previous estimated minutes watched, 398.3 million. Anything that's not a billion minutes or more is a failure. It should have started at that, because that's what season 1 started at. So again, like the Nielsen streaming numbers, 2 episodes of season 1, 1.3 billion minutes. And it should have maintained that and continued to get more as the show premiered. And that should have increased as season 2 premiered. But no, because it's made with pure incompetence and malice at times, not even producing a competent, halfway entertaining show, everyone's tuning out. So no one is happy. No one is happy in this situation. Antagonizing fans is part of the marketing plan. They deserve these viewership numbers. You can't throw 3,000 years of a story in 3 months' time. It's absurd. They delved too greedily and too deep. They wanted all of it. And even like they said, oh, there's so much happens in the second age. We can't pull the third age events. We can't do that. And literally that's what they're doing. They're cramming all of this and the second age stuff in such a haphazard, lackluster, amateurish fashion, plus also bringing in these third age elements and storylines and characters. They can't even be satisfied with all of this dense story that they have at their fingertips in the second age. Like, that's not enough for them. They have to have all of it. And their greed is their downfall. Ultimately, fans have long since left. There's just a few of us who are reviewing it. And most people are just catching up on watching reviews, because that's the entertaining way to get caught up on this stuff. If you're even interested in watching this dumpster fire, like a car crash, you can't turn away. Rotten Tomatoes number of views are way down also. I noticed before a significant decline in the amount of reviews. So I've already said before in a previous stream that mainstream critics are not interested in covering this show and reviewing it anymore. Even like Grace Randolph, she covered The Acolyte, but she didn't want to cover this. A Lord of the Rings show, she didn't want to cover it because for her audience, the interest is not there. And you can see it by the numbers that we just went over. You can see it by the decline in interest. Each time these streaming numbers come out, you can see it. There's such a steep decline in interest and online buzz that it just wasn't worth it for her to talk about it. And others too, like, just don't care because it's not guided by canon. So yeah, fans don't care. The critics that are fans of Tolkien, they tuned out, they checked out. But also like regular viewers and general audiences, the last time I saw the amount of reviews for Rings of Power, season 1 was sitting at over 25,000 reviews. And the last number I saw for season 2, for the audience reviews, the amount of reviews for that were like 5,000. That's such a steep decline. So people aren't even bothering to watch it. So of course they're not going to review it if they haven't watched it, because they don't care to. This is what you've created. You've antagonized the fan base continually. That was your plan. And also, you couldn't even be bothered to tell a halfway decent, entertaining show. No one is happy and no one is watching. Virtually nobody. Yeah, there's just a few of us left. And now it's over. Now it's done. And now we just have to wait to see what the rest of these numbers come out in the next few weeks. It'll definitely be interesting to see. So I'm going to keep track of it and see what happens in the future. And I'm going to keep covering it. I'm passionate about what's happening with this mythology that we love. So I'm going to keep talking about it and keep chatting about it with y'all and getting y'all's opinions. And this is our time we can hash things. I like nerds do. Talk about things we like and don't like. And this is what's fun about it. Even in the wake of such abject hatred, we can get together and have a good chuckle.